Welcome to Wisdom Talk Radio, a collaborative community of explorers in conscious living. Welcome to today's episode of Wisdom Talk Radio, where we explore the depths of conscious living and what it truly means to live a transformed and expanded life. So join us to be inspired, encouraged, transformed, and hopefully to experience a deep sense of joy and possibility. Because when we open to what's possible, wow, we open the doors wide for all sorts of amazingness. So I'm going to say something that might be a little, might provoke a reaction within you. And that is that we live in an illusion of separateness. It is so strong that you might indeed have a reaction to my saying that, to my calling it an illusion. Yet I know profoundly and without question that at the heart of life, at the heart of everything, is our connection with what I call Source. And my sensing is that my guest today carries a similar kind of understanding. She even co-authored a book called Sacred Connection. So we trust, she and I, who you will meet in a few moments, trust that you will feel the waves of love that are sure to be available in today's conversation. I'm Laurie Seymour, host of Wisdom Talk Radio and CEO and founder of the Baca Institute, home of the Quantum Connection process. You can go to the Baca Institute to discover your quantum connection. That is your unique connection with the essence of who you are. And you can do that by taking the Quantum Connection quiz. Why quantum connection? We're each designed to connect directly with Source in our own unique way. It's all for each of us. It's creative, it's different. And knowing what your style is, your tendency to go towards, helps you to have a deeper connection with the universe. So it helps to unlock that. And that connection really is the secret to creating what you truly want in your life. Because who you are is exactly who is needed. So my guest today is Ann Jonas, AKA the Love Messenger. I love that. Who is passionate about helping and supporting others to become more of who they truly are. She approaches her work from a holistic, intuitive, spiritual perspective with decades of experience as a bodyworker and birth doula. Today, her most powerful gift is living as a being of love and light, offering transformational and perspective guidance as a shamanic guide, intuitive healer, bodyworker, writer, speaker, and workshop facilitator. Welcome, Ann Jonas, to Wisdom Talk Radio.
Oh, Laurie, I'm so honored to be here and so grateful that you are offering this platform and this container, not only for me and all the beautiful guests that have been on your show, but for the audience, for the listeners, for the community of beings that are seeking to understand more of who they are. And I am all in on this whole idea of it being an illusion, as well as it being a co-creation.
Yes.
Nothing is in isolation, and we are all one with the field. And this is super exciting for what we get to talk about.
Because neither of us are talking about it as theory. That's what I'm struck by, first of all, is that it's not a theory that everything is all connected. It is when you really go into it, and it takes going into it. It's not something you can glean or grasp on the surface. You start to see, oh, wait a minute. What I had believed to be true is not. So here we are, we've barely even started and we're kind of in the thick of things. So let me reel it back for a moment. And tell me, what is a love messenger? Why love messenger? And why do we need a messenger at all?
Mm, I love that. You know, for a long time, I had a dream that all beings would know love. And I didn't really fully grasp what I was seeking in that dream.
Mhm.
Yet now that I have arrived here, what that essence is that everyone knows themselves as love.
Mm,
And the essence is we are all messengers. We are all messengers. What is your message?
mm,
Your message is your energy. It's how you see and experience the world that's around you. It's your body and all of the aspects of your being. We have more than a physical body. We have all the bodies, the mental, the emotional, the conscious, the karmic, all of it, our spirit bodies. It's when we sense and feel the oneness, the harmony in our whole being that taps us truly into love and what love is.
mm.
Love is everything. That's a chapter of the book that I wrote in that I curated and produced as an anthology.
Mhm.
That is the chapter, Love is Everything, exclamation point, because I love punctuation, because the essence is that love is God.
Mhm.
Love and whatever you would, if you don't like God, that's cool. I'm good with that. I'm good with you recognizing that it's an energy, it's
Mhm.
an essence. And you spoke, Laurie, of source,
Mhm. Mhm.
divine. We are here as expressions of God, of the divine, to experience for the collective. So, this idea of co creating, we are bringing in what we are personally experiencing, as well as what we are being rippled through and by in our world. We magnetize to ourselves
Mhm.
the experiences, the events, the people, the relationships,
Mhm.
the homes, the opportunities, the mud. I'm the lotus path. The mud is a gift. It's a gift of growth. It's a gift of awareness.
And it's a gift of expanding what it is that we get to bring to the whole.
Exactly. And I love that you said get to. It's an opportunity.
Mhm.
So, this essence of the events, the experiences, the challenges, the greatness, all of it, it's for us to learn more
Mhm.
about who we are, because this is this illusion that we're talking about,
Uh-huh.
this hologram. I'm super into Star Trek. So, it's a holodeck. You go in, you put in your code, you go live in that on that deck in that life. You could die, you could be hurt, and then it ends and you go back to being on the ship.
Mhm.
The essence is that we are calling forth what we desire to grow through. This is Earth School. If you haven't heard that before, that might be new for you, but it's this idea that everything is here for us to learn about and for our own journey and the collective.
So talk to me about the why of that. Um, so we'll start there, because then I want to take us a bit into how do we manage that? And that's not really the word I want. It's more about how do we step into that?
I love this because what I'm going to answer is going to answer both of those poses.
Okay.
Why? WHY. That's a powerful word. And it's probably one of the first words that most kids will speak. Why, 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 why? How does life work? And why is it offering these things to me? Why? The letter Y. That's you. Okay. You are the why in there. I actually don't like that word why. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you what the why is. The why is an opportunity. Why do we get to have these things? Because we chose them. Why are we experiencing this? Because we desire to learn through it and from it. So I have three other questions that I offer
Okay.
to the individual to allow the experience to be serving. Here's the first one. Where are my edges? Okay. As you're experiencing something, there's an edge of that relationship. Where are you offering an expression that is calling forth a response? Okay. Because everything that is has a consequence, and a consequence is a neutral word. It's merely the effect of an action.
It's an energetic effect.
Exactly. It's an energetic effect. I'm going to start saying that. And your awareness of your energetic boundaries, right? What are you putting out there and what are you allowing in? So as you're experiencing this maybe challenging occurrence, you get to look at, where are my edges? Are they even there? Do I have a boundary?
So
Is it
by edges, you mean boundary, or do you mean where do I feel discomfort?
both? So it's a boundary, but is it a boundary that is spiky towards another, right? Is it porous, which means you're allowing somebody else's experience to impact you? Because life is full of ripples. We are rippling out and we are witnessing what ripples towards us. We have a choice. We allow our energy field to be impacted. And so when we have a challenging experience and we say, where are my edges? Oh, I didn't have any boundaries.
Ah, okay.
Right?
So you really mean that in a different way than I was thinking of it. Okay.
Well, I'm curious, what does that bring up for you?
Well, I think about growing edges. So I think
Okay, so
about
here's the next two questions.
okay, but hang on, because
Okay.
so let's stay with this for a minute because I think we need a good example. So, somebody in your own life or somebody you've worked with, it doesn't matter, but something to say, okay, give us a situation. And then how are you using that word edges?
Okay, I'm going to use a very personal and in the very recent past with my 13, almost 14-year-old daughter. The concept of respect. So if anybody has a teenager out there, there's not much going on in their minds in the way of respect. I mean,
What is that? My gosh.
exactly. So what is the concept? So here's the deal. So if I'm feeling disrespected by my daughter, where is my ability to hold respect for self?
Ah, okay.
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 Because I'm allowing her disrespect to then create in me disrespect towards her. That's when I'm losing my mind, screaming and yelling, and having no grounded way of being in relationship.
And also disrespect for yourself, probably.
Completely. Absolutely. If
So,
I'm offering disrespect, well, this is the other thing.
mhm.
Everything that I point outward, whether it be beauty, Laurie, you're amazing. Everything that you've offered is incredible. Well, guess what? I just said that 3 times back to myself, right? Every time we point a finger at something, we are essentially calling ourselves the same. So absolutely, where is my respect for myself when I'm disrespecting her, when she was disrespecting me, and we just get in this like mess of a thing, right?
So are your boundaries then porous
Or almost non-existent
or
at that
non-existent?
point.
Okay.
And
Okay.
so why would that be? I was having my own stuff. I was having my own feelings of lack. I was struggling with something else that I was working with. And it was these layers of me not actually feeling grounded. I mean, we all know, go out of the room and take a breath, right? I mean, if any of you are a parent, you know, it's like, are you going to haul off and smack them with your words or your body? Or are you going to leave? Find your grounding again. But sometimes we don't do what we would feel is the most highly aligned choice, and we're reactive. So that's the idea. Where are you reacting? How are you responding to an experience? And how is it then impacting you
Okay.
and the relationship? So
So,
those edges are how we keep our own energy contained within us, not vomiting it up all over everybody else, and not allowing somebody else's stuff to then wash over us or poke at us. Are we poking at them, or are we letting them poke at us? This is that it's a clarity of, where is my energy and how am I holding it sacred?
right, right. And not to disappear either, because we can, for me, I know the experience. My daughter's a lot beyond the teenage years, thank goodness. And
I know we'll get
remember,
there. I know we will.
and I also remember those times where I didn't lash out, but I disappeared. I removed myself emotionally, energetically from her, which was also not a very good way to do it. It was another way of lashing out. It was withdrawing my energy, withdrawing my love.
Which is almost feels like you're punishing them, right? You know, I mean, you think you're doing it to maybe protect yourself. And it's funny, I almost did, that was almost a part of my experience yesterday. This is all yesterday, was to want to pull away completely.
Yeah.
And it was maybe to save myself, but really it was a lashing out. And I love that you spoke that, because I experienced it and it was like, I can't do that. I might as well be smacking her.
Right, right.
Well, ignoring is, you know, this recently I was talking about this. I'm gonna jump into a little bit of a thing real quick. I'm sure you're familiar with Dr. Masaru Emoto and all the research that he's done with water. Are you familiar with him? Yes. Okay. For those of you that aren't, Dr. Masaru Emoto, and he researched how water crystallized based on words that were attached to it, how it was spoken to, words that were literally attached to a petri dish. Positive, high vibrational words produced beautiful crystals. Low vibrational, negative words produced broken crystals microscopically. Well, I saw an extra piece to this experiment with rice in a jar and water. One of the jars of rice and water was given love and attention and high vibration. Another jar was given negativity, low vibrational words, anger. The third jar, ignored, given nothing. All three jars sat right next to each other in the same place. The jar with love stayed white. The rice was white. The water was clear. The jar with anger turned green and moldy and like got really thick and all this growth. The jar with ignore looked exactly like the jar with anger. Exactly. As if it had been treated negatively.
Yeah.
I love that we're talking about this. Withdrawing your energy out of self-preservation even, right? Others will experience that pull away.
Yeah. And there's a really fine distinction. And since we're going down this path, we may as well continue for a little bit, because there's nuance to that. There are times, there are situations where we have to withdraw our energy, where it is in our best interest. It is perhaps the only thing that we can do. And when we're talking about an intimate relationship, and especially with a child, the act of withdrawing our attention, our energy, is very different than saying, wait a minute, I don't want to respond in anger. So I'm going to just go out so I can take a couple of deep breaths. I'll be back. And you don't withdraw your love. You know that even though you can't stand them in this moment, you still love them.
So what you're saying, Laurie, is communication. Okay. And we are communicating always. And we're communicating more with our body and our energy, even than our words.
Right.
But here's
Always.
something that I have in my signature on all my emails. Communication offers clarity and brings connection. So that's what you're speaking to, is that basically
Absolutely.
by communicating my needs, or that I'm losing my mind, or I need a break, or I need a breath, or I need the earth, I'm telling you, I still love you. And I love myself right now too.
Exactly. So those boundaries, those edges are much clearer.
Yeah, absolutely.
So okay, I took you off from jumping ahead to the other questions, but I
That's
want to bring
okay.
us back. So
Yeah. No, here's the last two questions.
okay.
What am I learning and how is this serving me? Those are the last two questions.
Ooh.
Where are my edges? What am I learning? How is this serving me? Because everything is serving. Everything is serving. And that means everything has a reason. Now, yes, people, the hard stuff is serving. The mud is an opportunity for the blossom of a lotus. Yet, if we fight the mud, it's quicksand.
Feel like there's nuances in here too that we have to kind of go into.
Let's play.
Conceptually, I'm always looking for the bigger picture, and I see the bigger picture, and I do see life as this opportunity for us, no matter what the opportunity is, and that doesn't negate the horrors that are sometimes part of this life, and it also doesn't mean that we ignore that or try and say, well, what are you growing with this opportunity? What are you learning? Because there's also, it seems, a time and a place for that. So it's when we have a lot of our needs met, perhaps, and we come to that place where and I'm just feeling my way through this as I'm saying it. And I think about so many opportunities in my life where there were some really, really hard things that happened that set up a lot of what looked like suffering. And really in brief, the loss of my father at a very, very young age. And what that set up in our family, the struggle, not having money, not having any support, the struggle for my mother with 4 kids. And there were so many ways in which that was allowing me to build some bridges, this very beginning parts of building those bridges to see how we exist in both the everyday life, and this is one of the questions I wanted to ask you about, and that bigger picture.
Yes, 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 yes. Why is it yes? Because everything is serving, and that means that things are going to be hard. This is not an easy journey.
Mm-hmm.
Some people do have an easier time. There are many other experiences happening at the same time as we are living, as we are having this conversation, right? Nothing is in a vacuum. It's all part of it. We're all here on the planet right now at this time for this reason. We are spiritual beings that chose to have a human experience. That means that we're doing both. We're having a human evolution and we're having a spiritual evolution. We are both in tandem.
Mm-hmm.
Those hard things set us up for greatness. Those hard things set us up for greatness. And it becomes our choice as to how we navigate. And that comes back to those questions.
Yeah. It all
When
comes back
we
in a way to how we navigate them. Navigate.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it's the whole experience. Are we seeing these okay, challenges, traumas, deaths? I have all kinds of mud in my life. For those of you that don't know my story, I'm going to be brief about this because I don't care to spend a lot of time here, only because we only have so much time to talk.
Right.
But I'm an open book. I mean, it's actually written in the first chapter I wrote about in a book called Empowered Self-Care that I was published in. My father took my mother's life when I was 36 years old after they were divorced when I was 11. 25 years later, he showed up at her doorstep. He shot and killed her. He went to jail and he left the planet 18 months later. And there's a story there. For me, everything that I'd experienced up to that point, I knew that this was a spiritual experience for me.
Can you use a different word than spiritual, or explain what you mean by that? Because I'm really precise with language and so aware that people misinterpret things so often, or
Yes.
or simply say, well, what is she even talking about? How could that be spiritual? I'm tracking you, and I'm
Nobody's ever asked me that before. I like that you're asking me that, Laurie. It wasn't a religious experience. I'll let you know that.
right. But
What did
really
that mean?
expand on what you mean by
Yeah.
spiritual experience, because I feel you and I want our audience to get it.
Yeah, totally. Well, I'm going to actually drop into that moment 19
Mhm.
years ago.
Mhm.
And what I recognized was that this journey of my parents, of my father murdering my mother, and that we were burying her, and that I had now also lost my father because I was choosing to not be in relationship with him, that this was about my relationship with me and this life that I'm living and what's coming for me. This is a hard one, folks. Yes, I got to have this opportunity. I am grateful. I am. Not that my mom died and not that my dad was a murderer and not that I had violence and all of his narcissistic bipolar ways that I was raised with. I'm not grateful that he was that. What I'm
Mhm.
grateful for is that I have experienced these challenges to show me how I can make choices. That's what a spiritual experience is. It's an awakening to expanding from the human egoic limitations of struggle and victim, even the egoic expression of victor.
Mhm.
The hero's journey is very much embedded in the human condition. It's not an expanded spiritual experience. It's very human based. But to be a hero means that you need a victim and a villain in the mix. That is a triad
Uh-huh.
that becomes manifest along the way. And it creates, therefore, in us the opportunity I see as to go in. Where am I the hero? Where am I the victim? And where am I the villain in my own life?
Mhm. And then where do you go? Where do you find the Holy Grail to bring back to the world? Not
Exactly.
everybody is interested in finding the Holy Grail. Not everybody goes on that search, that hero's journey.
Well, I believe that we all dance around it and it moves through us, whether or not we're conscious or choosing, we're back to choice, to feel empowered by the experiences of our life.
And that, I guess that's the great distinction, because I think that's why I'm saying that is not everybody does it. It's really not everybody feels empowered by it. Not everybody recognizes the choice aspect in it.
Exactly. Well, that is foundational.
Yeah.
That we are all making choices. Every second we make a choice. We were talking about it earlier. Am I going to choose to lose my mind on my kid? Or am I going to choose to go take a bath?
Yeah.
And those are both choices. And both of them take effort. They really do. So this essence of how we experience ourselves is through all of these events. Again, we're not in a vacuum. I mean, yes, you can stay home and be alone, and when we desire to be in this authentic relationship with self, we are going to be pushed. We are going to be thrown around. It is life. This is the human condition.
Because we get to know ourselves by coming up against things. Like you just said about, we can't really live in a vacuum where whether we can or cannot, we certainly can't discover more about ourselves in a vacuum. We learn about ourselves as we encounter another, as we come up against life's situations.
Well, the other part about that is that everything is a mirror.
Well, that's exactly. And so how can I see myself if I don't have mirrors? If I sit on top of a mountain?
And that mirror of self is also really important. But it's easier. Well, I don't know if that's actually what I want to say. It's more serving to look in the mirror of yourself when you see the reflections that you have with other.
Yes.
So it's like it's a combination. The self-created mirror is relevant, and there are many people who won't look in the mirror and tell themselves, "I love you." That is one of the things I've been doing as a support person my whole life, is offering to people, stand in the mirror. First, look yourself in the eye. If you can't get to the "I love you" yet, look yourself in the eye. Eventually, there can be a softening. As we love ourselves, we love other. We can't love another without loving ourselves first. We can't respect another without respecting ourselves first. We can't trust another without trusting ourselves first. We are the center of the show. If anyone's familiar with Don Miguel Ruiz and the Four Agreements, I'm sure you are, Laurie, the Toltec wisdom. There's some prominent questions that it's important to be in relationship. Am I taking this personally? Am I making assumptions? Am I doing my best? Am I being impeccable with my word? Am I speaking my authentic truth? And am I doing those things with myself? And recognizing we're all the center of our own show. Yes, I have been told that I have a healthy ego, and I celebrate that. I am number one. And as a parent, that is something that also has been lost over the years. We have to take care of ourselves first. I mean, we know it from the planes, right? Put the oxygen mask on.
Yeah.
You know, that's where this combination of, am I going to lose my mind on my kid, or am I going to go like hug a tree or take a bath? I'm going to serve my kid better when I'm connected to myself.
Yes.
I'm going to serve my animals. I'm going to serve my community. We have only at our disposal what we offer to ourselves. So when we feel empowered by our life, even though it's challenging, when we feel as a victor, even though that meant we had to, navigate some things,
Mm-hmm.
we offer that to everybody that's in our field.
And we
Everything
become
we
that,
are.
and we
Yeah,
become that bridge because we've learned how to navigate from the struggle, from the situation that was so difficult to a different place. And it's
exactly.
not by jumping over it, it's not by ignoring it or pretending it didn't happen. It's by recognizing, oh, what am I learning here? What is there to be learned here? And then how do I get to this other place? And having gotten here, oh, someone else can then cross over that bridge.
Moving through. That's what you're
Mm-hmm.
saying.
Mm-hmm.
Moving through. Sure, we can live a life by sidestepping and going over and, turning a blind eye, as people say. And that's going to be a reflection of how you navigate with yourself.
Right, right.
Everything that we do is a reflection of who we be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're coming towards the end of our time together, and I'm just trying to see. Could you say a little bit about love as a frequency, love as a vibration?
Mhm.
Because it's not an emotion.
Right. It is a vibration. I like that we're going to talk about this because I'm going to bring something else into it. Love is an opportunity for recognizing that everything is one. It's
Mm-hmm.
it's not an act.
Mm-hmm.
It's a beingness. We can see it in nature because the animals and the plants, they exist. They have a purpose, an essence. They have a drive to be alive. And they know without knowing they're all going to die. The leaves, they come out on the trees and the bushes in the spring, and then they die in the fall.
Mm-hmm.
And they also don't judge each other. There's no leaf yelling to another leaf, "Hey, why are you the first leaf to fall? Like you're a go-getter." Or
I'm
why are
prettier
you
than
the
you are.
exactly. Like, oh, you have like a corner that, like I want a corner. I mean, all of this comparison
Mm-hmm.
is not serving. Yet we are a collection of all of these unique
Mm-hmm.
oh, there's a new word, frequencies and energetics.
Mm-hmm.
What is energy? What is vibration? Currency, electricity, that's energy. And we experience that, well, all over. Right? We got lights and computers and we've got it all, right? But if you touch a light switch and it's windy out, ooh, you get shocked.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't always get shocked. There's another aspect, and that's that wind, right? We can't see wind, but we see what it impacts.
Mm-hmm.
We can feel it, but we can't see it. We see it, move our hair. We feel it on our face. That's what love is. Love is an expression of honoring all that is. It's about feeling, and not so much in the third dimensional way of feeling. We have five senses, but we actually also have seven senses that are associated with our chakras, our seven energy centers. Those are an additional level of sensing.
Mm-hmm.
Our bodies tell us dis-ease, not disease. I don't use that word. Dis-ease.
Mm-hmm.
We're out of harmony. We're out of balance. We're out of ease. How we feel is that expression of love. how we witness, how we offer, how we breathe. If we consider that our breath is a gift from being, I'm just going to put a period on there.
Mm-hmm.
Gift from being, and we are offering through our breath to another, and we receive.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, love, right? Highest vibration. But guess what's above it? Authenticity.
I'm not going to agree with you there, but okay, I'll let you
Okay,
finish it.
let's play, because here's the thing. And I know I heard that too. I was like, but love is everything. And I wrote a chapter on it. To be in love is to be authentic.
I can't, we're out of time, so I can't even go down that path. I don't even like the word authentic, frankly. I will say that.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's like,
Okay.
it doesn't, because of people use it to mean you're real or you're not real. You're going to be who you are. And it's just been so over in my way of being with it. It's been so overused that it's lost meaning. So maybe in another conversation, you and I will get to complete
Can
that thought.
expand on
And
that. Yeah.
I'm sorry to our audience, but because I'm leaving you, well, but it's good. Leaving you with a cliffhanger.
A cliffhanger and an opportunity to find me directly to have this
Oh,
conversation.
yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And will you tell us how to find you directly?
Yes, my pleasure. TheLotusPath.love. How about that? That is my website, TheLotusPath.love, LOVE. Everything that I offer is there. I have courses and individual transformational guidance sessions. I offer a monthly portal, transformational and perspective guidance. That's what I offer. I have YouTube lives, so you can find me and the Love Messenger, LinkedIn, Facebook, all of the handle things. And there's a community that I curate, Sacred Connection. It started out in October of 22, 2 years ago, as a 9-week webinar. It became a book, and we begin round 9 of this 9-week webinar in January. I offer them 3 times a year, and there's a membership portal as well. And this is where I share these ideas and concepts, and community also brings offerings. They're co-hosts. It's a collaboration of energy, of love, and of offering perspective to feel connected and expanded in a sacred way with self and the divine.
You've said a mouthful. Wow. Thank you, Anne. I feel the richness, the depth. I've so appreciated and enjoyed pulling apart some of these things and, and looking more closely. And I deeply appreciate how open you are to doing that.
Thank you. I'm going to add one little piece, because I love that we had discourse, right? And that even that word means like we didn't agree, right? I love that. We agree on everything, especially existing. Yet this idea, and we talked about it before we were recording, knowing everything.
Right.
I've always been like, I know everything. I'm a Capricorn. Of course I know everything. Yet what I've learned is to be curious.
Right.
There is what you and I both are tapped into, Laurie, and likely your audience and listeners, that there's more.
There's more.
There's more. There's more, that there's more than this. And that it's being curious and knowing in our hearts
Yeah.
that allow us to experience all that is of this incredible thing called life. Thank you for having me be to grow myself. To say, you're like, I don't think that authenticity is higher than love. I was like, great. I love that you said that. You checked me. And yet that's again, and it's yours and mine. And this is that place
and there's
of
always more.
there's always more. Yes.
And that has been actually what has driven me my whole life, is knowing that there is more The retreat I did in Barcelona last year, and we'll do another one like this coming year, was called the Mourness Retreat because it's that acknowledgement. So thank you, Ann Jonas, for being here at Wisdom Talk Radio for more.
For more and more and more. Thank you so much for
More
the
moreness.
opportunity and for creating a platform that holds people in their moreness. I love that.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Mm.
And I want to thank our audience for being with us today here at Wisdom Talk Radio, because without you, well, it wouldn't be nearly as much as rich. And I want to invite you to join us here regularly for more wisdom, discovery, and illumination. And please leave us a review, because when you do, that helps more people to discover what this is and what's possible and to transform the world. So you can find us always on all your different places, to all your different podcast places, on YouTube. And if you want more for your own discovery, your own how to thrive with your personal quantum connection, go take the Quantum Connection quiz over at the Baca Institute right now. And we'll see you next time.
Thanks for joining us here at Wisdom Talk Radio. We wish you well in your conscious explorations. For more information and to join in the conversation, our website is wisdomtalkradio.com or at Wisdom Talk Radio on Facebook.